Ready, set, action. I'm out here in the middle of Corona, kind of above the hills where it's kind of secluded, um, but it's at least a spot where you can go and kind of get away from urbanity. Um, and one of the things, I guess, for the first vlog or whatever, for Live Divinely, which I've got so many plans for that I'm going to love to share in a very near future to help encourage and provide tools to help you live a better quality of life. And one of the things that I've studied recently, actually, through documentaries, finding stuff to read about, is the microbiome. And microbiome is basically gut bacteria. They're the bacteria, believe it or not, there's bacteria all over our digestive system. Actually, our body pretty much, all of our bodies are just filled with these bacteria. Not necessarily harmful, but in a second, I'll mention some of the negatives about it. But they come from pretty much what we eat. What we eat kind of dictates what kind of bacteria, what kind of gut bacteria or microbiome are in our bodies, and especially our digestive systems. Um, and so one of the striking things that I learned about the microbiome is the fact that different foods that you might eat have different microbiome. Now, let's say you eat McDonald's, other fast food places, um, um, basically processed junk food, Twinkies, whatever. Somehow, the ingredients in these, which a lot of them, if you look at the ingredients on the back, if you can't pronounce it, it's probably man-made, it's probably a chemical. And those particular ingredients and the way they process this food has certain microbiome or gut bacteria that get in there, get into your body, get into your digestive system. And then in a good way, they eat a lot of the bad stuff, but at the same time, we need to keep feeding them because they get hungry. And so when you have hunger pains, it's because those bacteria are hungry. And they want to be fed, just like any animal, human, whatever. And so, maybe intentionally, I wouldn't put it past them, but places like McDonald's, Del Taco, Taco Bell, they intentionally keep putting, actually sugar is a big one, they keep putting these certain microbiome in their food to get people to keep coming back. Or maybe they noticed that whatever they made their food with keeps people coming back. And so we get in this cycle where we need that kind of food. Or if it's not fast food, I mean, you can try to feel better about yourself and maybe get the lean cuisines or whatever. It's all the same crap. It's got junk in it, it's got chemicals, and it's got this food. Technically, I mean, really, it's got this food that your microbiome need. So, if you really start wanting to get healthy, then you start eating more fruits, more veggies. Maybe some people, they start going more vegetarian. Some people go more vegan. And with any of these lifestyle changes, there comes a period of detox. So these microbiome needed this food that it got so used to. So basically, we're addicted to those certain types of food. And really, it is an addiction because your brain sends signals saying, hey, hungry, hungry, hungry. I need this type of food, and you go for that type of food, which is why it's so easy to just stop, boop, boop, other than the fact that it's so quick, boop, 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 and go get some McDonald's or whatever, Burger King, whatever. Um, so when you make a lifestyle change and you're starting to eat these other natural foods, then you're actually putting, scientifically proven, you're putting different bacteria inside of you. Now, these microbiomes aren't the type of food that these other microbiomes with this food that you're addicted to, it's not the type of food that they eat. And so the gut bacteria that's already in you, guess what? They're not getting fed, because the type of food that you're eating, the McDonald's fries or whatever, it's not going to their stomachs. It's going to these other microbiome that you're putting inside of you. And so they're going to keep sending signals, hey, I need my food. And they're not getting it. So that's why, if you're going on this detox, you're going to feel hungry. You're probably going to feel a lot hungrier for a little bit until you get over it, until they all die and stop sending signals. So if you're on this lifestyle change, you want these other microbiome to just die off, and they will. But it's going to be harder at first, especially if you keep putting in this bad stuff that you don't want anymore. Meat is actually included with that. Meat provides certain types of it's a type of food that your microbiome might like. And so if you're not eating meat, then you're going to feel more hunger pains. Makes sense? And again, it's going to be harder at first until your body acclimates, or it doesn't actually acclimate. It's when these bacteria die. And then it'll just go to a normal, I'm hungry for veggies, I'm hungry for fruits, I'm hungry for this natural stuff. And you'll be all good. So if you're on a lifestyle change, one thing I would recommend is, I've tried to do the lifestyle changes, like all of a sudden, boom, done. I'm done with all this stuff. It doesn't work. Or at least for me, it doesn't work. So if it doesn't work for you, we're on the same boat. For me, slow changes work a lot better. So I don't know about you. That's what I recommend, because it's worked for me, is slow changes. I start putting more good things into me, more natural things into me, and it kind of, the way I can say it, it kind of kicks out the bad things naturally. It's going to get to a point where you have to make a decision, because it's going to get to a point where you're not going to have very many of that gut bacteria from the meat, from the processed junk food, from things like that. And you're gonna, if you start eating meat once in a while, let's say you have a steak or whatever, or you have a burger, then you're getting that gut bacteria back into you, but you have a lot of these veggie bacterias or fruit bacterias, right? And somehow, and I don't know how, I'm not a researcher, I'm not a scientist, but the meat bacteria, the processed junk food bacteria, they are powerful little boogers. Literally, they probably look like boogers, but whatever. They're powerful, and they will fight, they will attack, they will make war in your body if you let them in. That's where you might start feeling sick, upset stomach after eating meat if it's been a while, or after eating processed junk food. If you have some Lay's potato chips, you might start feeling sick the next day. You might have a stomach ache. And they probably don't notice. I don't know if they have the kind of intelligence that we do, probably not. But instinctually, because they're attacking and they're making war against the good bacteria that you're getting from the fruits and veggies, it's going to cause us to either have a fight or flight response, which is what our primitive brains do. Is now we have an option. Okay, I feel sick. Why? I've been eating all this good natural stuff. I've been having all these good green power smoothies, on and on and on. And you might get to a point where it's like, you know what? I give this crap up. You know, like, I can't do this. Maybe I'm just getting sick from this good stuff. Even though subconsciously we're saying maybe I'll just give up this good stuff. Consciously we're probably saying, you know, I can't do this right now. I'm just gonna go back to what makes me happy, because the gut bacteria from the meat, from the processed junk food, they make us happy. Sugars, the kind of saturated fats in meat, it creates I think it's dopamine in our body, or the happy drug that's released in our brains. That's a truck behind me. That's how close we are to urbanity. And so, anyways, so it just so happens that this bad gut bacteria creates happiness in us because of what's in it, because of the sugars, because of the bad fatty acids and stuff. So consciously we're like, I'm just going to go towards what makes me happy. Maybe I'll do this lifestyle change some other time. Or you can fight it and just know, because I'm living through it now, so I'm helping to encourage you, hopefully. Just know that it's going to pass. And if you eat a little bit of meat, or if you eat a little bit of processed junk food, then just know that if you get sick, it's because of that. And so now you have to make a choice. Okay, well, they're attacking. What am I going to do? I'm going to fight them. I'm just going to overload my body with fruits and veggies. Forget that crap. And again, it'll pass. All of those gut bacteria will die. But you have to keep making sure that you don't put the bad bacteria that you don't want back in there. Hopefully that makes sense. And keep putting the good bacteria. And so a lifestyle change is just that. It's a change, the style that you're living for life. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Still going through it. But I'm noticing that I think my hypothesis, I guess, is that there's this point where you have to make a decision, and your brain is going to give you two options, fight or flight, and you have to pick one of them. And I'm going to choose to fight. And I'm going to fight on, and that's it. I will get to the point where I don't need to feed these bacteria that aren't doing me any good anyways, and probably shortening my life anyways. So that's that. There's also diseases. I just saw a webinar on one disease that shows that researchers are actually studying gut bacteria, microbiome, and they're figuring out that there might be a connection between what kind of gut bacteria is prevalent inside of you, causing or correlating or being linked to getting that disease, or the progression of that disease, or even how the medications function with that disease. I don't know how deep they're going on. It sounds like that their studies are kind of more recent, very premature still. I hope that they study more of the effects of gut bacteria in more natural foods compared to processed junk food, meat, and et cetera, et cetera. I hope that's part of their study. I get the feeling through the webinar that it is. They're looking for, people to do clinical trials and stuff so that they can check over the years and see, hey, there is a correlation. based on their results. But it's very premature, but it's hopeful that science and medical science in particular is starting to catch up to what philosophers and what ancients kind of knew about how the body works, primitively, of course, except now science can catch up to it. Hopefully they get funding to figure all this stuff out. So that's a little bit of something that affects us all, and affects all parts of us, and ultimately may even affect whether or not we get a disease, how it progresses, or even maybe cure certain diseases as well, based on simply what we eat. So the saying, "You are who you eat," I believe is actually true. What you eat makes you who you are. And so, as part of slowing down, I think, is slowing down enough to be present to what we're eating and to care for our bodies with dignity, to love ourselves, because what you eat will actually dictate to the world how much I love myself, how much you love yourself. If you just stuff your face with crap, then you're probably not feeling very good about yourself. If you stuff your face with good stuff, good natural food, then you probably love yourself a lot. And that's an amazing thing. So be well. This is the first of Live Divinely, of hopefully encouraging and providing tools to help you live a better quality of life. Hope you have a magical day, and namaste. Peace.